What's up, everyone? Welcome to your 15th, isn't it? PHP tutorial in my series of PHP tutorials. Today I'm going to teach you how to create a file, how to write something in the file, and how to read it. And well, it's not really complicated or anything. So as this is all pretty much something that has already been made for us in PHP, so well, you just gotta listen to what I say, and well, then you'll be good. And now you're simply going to erase all of this, and you're going to have a variable that's going to be called file name, and that's going to be set equal to example.txt. And we put .txt at the end because we want it to be a normal text document. And now let's create the content for our file. Now it's going to be called text. Well, the content is going to be stored in a variable called text, and the content is going to be howdy partner. Because, you know, I just saw some Lucky Luke movie or something where they are out in Texas, so well, I'm just like, howdy partner, how you doing? So well, I figured that this would be a pretty good content. And now we're going to create another variable called file, and it is going to be equal to a built-in PHP function going to be called fopen. And fopen is a function that has already been made for us, so there's nothing to worry about right there. We already have a function called fopen because, you know, PHP made that for us. And now this is going to be the file that we want to open, and if the file isn't existing, then it will be creating it. So we want to open file name, and now single quotation mark W single quotation mark. Well, this will give the file write permission so that it can be written. No, yes, it can be. There can be wrote stuff to it. That's what the W means. Now go to the next line, and now we're going to write something to our file. So now we're going to use another built-in PHP function called fWrite, and the first parameter it takes is the file you want to write to, and we want to write to file, and this is the variable we just got right here. And the other one is going to be the file or the content we want in our file, so there will be text. And by the way, we need to add something more here. You say or die unable to open or create file. Okay, this means that it'll try and do this. It'll do its best to try and open or create the file, or die means that if it can't do it, that's what the or means, then die. This will kill the process, you know, terminate the program all of a sudden, you know. If this happens, then kill it, terminate the program, and echo on screen unable to open or create file. And also we need a or statement down here, or die unable to write content to file. And now we're going to have something that will, you know, help us get the content of the file. So we create a new variable called content, and it is going to be set equal to get underscore file contents. And then well, get file contents is another built-in PHP function, and it, as the name says, it'll get the content of the file. It'll get the text of the file, and it takes one parameter, and that is the file name we want to get the content of, and that is file name, a variable we already created. Now we want to echo out on the screen content. This will display the content on the screen. And oh yeah, by the way, also add a or die thing here. Unable to read the content. So it'll try to get the content of the file. If it can't, it'll print out on the screen, unable to read the content, and terminate the program. But if it gets to this line, it'll print out the content that the file has, all of the content. And now it's time to close our file, because you know, when you've opened it, you gotta close it too. And well, also get some error. So you simply put a file is a variable in here, because you know we got to tell PHP what file we want to close, and we want to close file. So yep, that's pretty simple actually. So you just hit save, go into your web browser and make sure that you have localhost / hello world.php open. Now right click and click refresh, and now I'll get a fatal error. It says that we don't have the file get file contents, and well, that's pretty strange. So I'll try and figure that out. So yeah, 2 seconds, and now I'm back. It will simply because I typed the wrong name. It is file get contents, and also now that we're in the file, add a or die statement here too, saying that unable to close the file. So well, I'm just going to yeah, I'm going to run it now. So you hit Control S to save it, and now you go into your web browser again and refreshes this page. And now as you see, it's a howdy partner, and now we should have a file in the htdocs folder called example.txt with the content howdy partner, and we do. So well, that's just fabulous. So now I'm going to go over our hello world.php file one more time before I'll finish off this tutorial. Well, first of all, we have a variable called file name to hold the file's name, and we're talking about example, and we put .txt at the end to let PHP know that we want a text file, a regular text document. And the text variable is just a variable for holding the text we want in the file, and we want howdy partner in the file. And then we have a variable called file, and that file, and you know, that variable will try to open the file name, will try to open example.txt, but if the file isn't existing, then it will just create the file in the same directory as where you have your hello world.php file. And then this W thing will give this file write permission, so that stuff can be written to it. Or die means that, okay, so if you couldn't open or create the file, print out on screen, terminate the process and print out on screen, unable to open or create file. Then if it successfully created or opened the file, it'll go to this line, fwrite, which will write stuff in the file. And you got the first parameter is the file you want to write to, and that is file, this variable right here. The next one is the content you want, and we also have a variable for that called text. And so if it doesn't succeed in writing that stuff in the file, print out on screen, unable to write content to the file. If it gets to this line, we'll have a variable called content that will get the content of the file example.txt, that's what the parameter is. If it doesn't successfully executes this action, it will terminate the process and enter or will echo on screen unable to read the content. And then if it gets to this line, it will print out the content that it got, and that's the file's content. And finally, it will close the file, and in the parameter we show it what file we want to close, because you know we got to close the file once we opened it, or else you know we'll get some error. And if it doesn't successfully closes the file, terminate the process and print it out on screen unable to close the file. So well, that was your tutorial on final thing. So yep, I'll see you in my next PHP tutorial.